What happened on November 21st, 2021 was not an attack.
Tonight, Darrell Brooks' final words before learning his fate.
Not only am I sorry for what happened, I'm sorry that you could not see what's truly in my heart. That you cannot see the remorse that I had.
Brooks, unmasked, apologized for killing 6 people and hurting more than 60 others when he drove through the Christmas parade last November. Brooks's mother and grandmother among 3 people who spoke on his behalf. They told the court Brooks suffers from mental health issues.
Darrell has suffered from bipolar since the age of 12. And it was that disorder that caused him to drive through that crowd.
Brooks' sentencing quickly turned combative once again with Judge Jennifer Darrow.
Do not interrupt me.
Remove me then.
Listening from the adjacent courtroom, the judge was brought to tears describing the horrific images and evidence shown at trial.
It's hard not to think about what I watched and not have this reaction. Those were images that frankly kept me up at night, that I saw over and over and over.
Ultimately, the judge telling Brooks his mental health issues did not cause the carnage that day.
There are many times, good people do bad things, but there are times when evil people do bad things. Some people, unfortunately, choose a path of evil. And I think, Mr. Brooks, you are one of those such persons.
Our team coverage continues now with Syria Sandlin, who was in the courthouse when the judge handed down that sentence. Syria?
Patrick, so much emotion, raw emotion in that courtroom. If you take a look behind me, some of those victims and the family members of the victims coming out right now, just moments after hearing that verdict. There were tears, there were sniffles, there was applause when the judge read those verdicts, but also there was an altercation, the back and forth between the judge and Darrell Brooks. We caught all of that, of course, on camera. He was brought back into the courtroom, then asked to leave the courtroom, then brought back again several times. The judge said she wanted him to pledge that he would not interrupt the proceedings. He wrote notes numerous times, not with that specific pledge in it. Then he finally did and was allowed to come back in. Then he stood up, was yelling at the judge, and that was the final straw. Take a listen.
Your Honor, as a public servant, I have the right to ask questions of Your Honor.
I'm going to ask you one more time, and if you refuse to sit down, then you are in direct disobedience of a court order. Sit down and be quiet so I can make the appropriate record.
Can you tell me what the court order
is? He's not going to obey. He's now forfeited his right to be present. He will go into the other courtroom.
And that's when she asked them to leave the courtroom. He left for good. But I really just cannot reiterate enough, Patrick, that raw emotion in the courtroom as the judge ran through the testimony of all the victims. There was so many tears, so many people crying. Obviously, these victims still so traumatized by that horrible, horrible parade attack. Now, the judge also mentioned that she did not factor in Darrell Brooks's courtroom antics into her decision with the sentencing. But again, it was weeks leading up to this, and today she finally asked him to leave the courtroom for good before handing down that sentencing.